It's so not okay.
They actually
told me that they had done research on him. They finally agreed to go and ask this person to leave the stage and had security waiting to escort him out. I love an apology, but it doesn't mean...
So, does Rob Schneider apologize? You got to hear what he says to Tucker Carlson here.
I will consider an apology. Consider it when you apologize for what...
Clinton Jaws. Yes, I'm in a motorhome. I'll explain that to you another day. I'm back. I was gone for a couple of weeks. I took off. I drove to California and back. And it was amazing. It's good to be back. I've wanted to do this video for a long time, the moment it happened. The moment this happened to comedian Rob Schneider in Canada. And it's scary. I'm going to show you guys some video clips. I'm going to show you what Schneider had to say to Tucker Carlson about the moment. Schneider's in Canada. They hired him. Some kind of function for the hospital workers in Regina. Lots of people in attendance. So he gets up and he does his comedy act. But wait, there's one Canadian Karen in the audience who does not approve.
It's so not okay.
This is the guy who doesn't approve. It's not okay. The guy who talks like a child. It's just so not okay. This guy is the reason why Rob Schneider is now banned from Canada. What are they mad at exactly? Well, he said, back in my day, we liked our women without penises. He should have said, back in my day, we loved our women with penises. He also told the audience that if he had a dime for every gender, he'd have 20 cents. Come on, like, there's just jokes. He gets kicked off the stage because of this nerd, this Canadian nerd. I don't even know how this guy walks around. Guys, we are so weak in Canada. Come on.
I really felt strongly after seeing many people. Some were in tears, some were, incredibly upset.
Incredibly.
People were leaving the room that I just said to myself, I can't sit by and do nothing.
I got to do something. I'm a hero.
We're all here at Connexus for an amazing event. The main act of the night was Rob Schneider from TV, movies, whatever.
Is he from TV?
Within probably 45 seconds, he, started sharing things about, being, very anti-vaccinations.
Oh my God. We can't have that. You got to be for vaccinations. Is he really against vaccinations? How dare him?
Very against trans folks.
Sure.
Even quite a few misogynistic things, I would say.
Like what?
So I went up and asked to speak to the organizers of the event. At first, they were incredibly dejective and sort of saying, well, we're not going to do anything, and we hired this guy, and lots of people are laughing, so...
Lots of people are laughing. Except for him. You can't make this up. We hired him to make people laugh. Lots of people are laughing. But you got to get him off the stage.
So, why would we shut him down? And I sort of made a case to say...
He made a case, guys. And yes, I am interrupting. He made a case. Canadian Karen, what's your case?
Say, not only is this completely inappropriate, and offensive and really filled with hatred,
full hatred.
But it's also
jokes?
The first day of Pride.
It's the first day of Pride. How dare you, comedian Rob Schneider, talk like that on the first day of Pride? I had to Google Pride. First day? There's 30 days of Pride. So for 30 days, you can't say jokes about those topics, I guess. I'm so sick and tired of this Pride crap. Who cares? What is it even? We're all over this gayness, okay? It's accepted now. Completely accepted. You're allowed to be gay. Nobody cares. Why do you have to have 30 days of celebrating this? I don't care that you're gay. Nobody cares. By the way, pride, look it up. It's a stupid word. There's nothing proud to have the word pride in it. He hurt my pride.
The first day of Pride. And we have to recognize what that day means to people.
Why?
That,
Why do we?
Especially in a hospital setting where people, go through gender affirming care and reproductive care. And
if you're in a hospital setting, you need jokes, believe me.
And fertility treatments, all of those sorts of things. And that's being challenged and mocked and laughed at on a public platform, especially when fundraising for that type of an organization. It's so not okay. They actually told me that they had done research on him. They finally agreed to go and ask this person to leave the stage and had security waiting to escort him out. I love an apology, but it doesn't mean...
So, does Rob Schneider apologize? You got to hear what he says to Tucker Carlson here. Oh my God. We are insane in Canada.
So you got cut off. You were talking about Canada and the tyranny there. Obviously, lots of great Canadian people. I know you would agree. But the country's in turmoil. It's an authoritarian country. But you were punished by the Canadians for telling naughty jokes.
I was. They really went after me, and it hurt. Not at all. I loved it. I remember my favorite thing was because it was accused of being, transphobe, which is like, it's just to fill in the blank, whatever you are.
Yeah.
So you can tell jokes. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, if we're just going to throw biological reality out, the truth, it could be, not nice, but it's never hateful. That's what thing they complained about. And people were laughing at that outrageous, humor. Yeah. And I said,
the Canadians were mad that the audience laughed?
So one guy who was the same guy in all the complaining. And I remember they were really laughing and then they kind of got quiet because they're too polite. Canadians are too polite. They don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, which ends up hurting everybody's feelings because then you end up having some guy who loves China running your country.
Exactly.
Who admires China. So it's important to speak up and speak freely and say when your countrymen. I said I have nothing to apologize to you, Canada, about. If you know what I will consider an apology. Consider it when you apologize for what you did to those truckers and what you that ugliness of not supporting those people who are risking everything to drive all the way across the country, shut the country down so that this tyranny could end. And it was a powerful movement. And it was a movement to stand there and let your government officials call them terrorists.
Yes.
That is...
and put them in prison, which they did.
Disgraceful.
It is.
Disgraceful. And so when you make that official apology, I'll talk about how I felt and why I did certain jokes. And I have no apologies to you at all. And I'm glad I did it. And I would do it again if you let me back in the country.
Which I assume they won't.
I will not be allowed back in the country. Just for hate speech. For jokes.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not because that just seems wacko. Not allowed back in the country. What does that mean for people like me who are in the country? Jail, maybe?
What's that? Charge us to the record